Do it. Don't touch it.
Hello, welcome to the Sketch Zone podcast. I'm Carlos, and we're gonna go ahead and welcome Charlie B. Williams the third.
Like you're
You
gonna.
are so distracting, young man.
I'm waiting. I thought you were gonna say Jack first. What up, Zone? I'm here. Been a little bit, but we're back. We're here to talk to you, and I have some new stuff to talk.
What?
Moving on. Who else is here?
Let's welcome
Hey,
our special guest,
I know.
Jack
it's been a-
Kasperzak.
I'm sorry, it has been a little while.
What about
That's what
International
happens when you
Man
start
of Mystery and
It starts happening. That's what happens when you just ball that hard. Be like, "Bow."
ball so hard?
It has been a little whirlwindy, but it's all for the good.
You've been in multiple countries.
Yes,
That's right.
I have been.
So let's real quick. There's not that many of these, so we could just fly through these.
Oh, you don't want to do the hotline?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, we're not doing the hotline anymore.
Yeah.
Fine. Do the
We
Discord.
have a Discord.
Mhm.
That's right. We have a Discord channel. You know what? By the end of the show, we'll have a short URL for
we gotta get
the
the-
show.
So short-
Because right now it is discord.gg/3TG4AP.
Wait a minute. Why
Hang
is
on.
it so
Say
long?
it
Why
one
isn't
more
it
time,
just
I'll
your
drop
name?
it
It
in
should
there.
be Discord / whatever your Discord's called.
I'm just
That's not
telling you what they gave me.
That's it. It should be
Right.
Discord / what's the Discord called? Just Sketch Zone?
Yeah.
Let's try.
He dropped it in there. Hey, Sean Keenan. Nice.
Sean
Welcome.
Keenan, Landon Wilson. Hello and welcome.
The luck of the Irish today.
I was just talking in a voice. If that's what you get, that you might be racist.
Wow. He said
Hey, let's take a
Let's go
look.
to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe every day's a good day with your painting.
Okay, this is going to be fast. Even though we had like 3 weeks to work on it, we had a mammoth leprechaun minimalism style. Let's take a
gotta
look.
say, I
This
apologize.
this one is very cute. I like it.
Definitely
Joey.
minimalism.
wait a minute, but is it a leprechaun elephant? Are we-
Yeah.
We're not
It's a
making
mammoth.
fun of your name. We're making fun with your name.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. Hey, Joey
Oh.
Wall.
Mammoth.
I love this. It's a mammoth.
I should read.
He actually, I had the idea to do this kind of a mammoth, and then he posted and properly tagged Sketch Zone. So yeah, it was, he beat me to the punch. I love this. It's really cool. And I get visions of one Jack Kasperzak with this style.
Oh.
Good job, Joey. Excellent.
Visions
love it.
of Kasperzak.
So then this is what I came up with.
That's creepy.
That's very creepy. When I was doing it, I was like, that looks like that one movie, Leprechaun, the scary one from, I think, the 80s.
Yeah.
Yo, where's his face? Or is he smiling?
Is
It's
it just a
minimalism.
giant smile or
Yeah.
one eye?
Is he smiling though? Do you
Or
see
is it his
It's
nose? Maybe it's a big
minimal.
nose.
It's minimalism.
I
He
think
doesn't. He
I think
doesn't.
the hat's
However
covered
you
in
interpret
face,
it,
and he's smiling at me.
You
You
Yeah.
see?
that's what you
That's the
see,
one.
Charlie.
You see it
go.
though?
We can now interpret your life with that.
It's like a leprechaun cyclops.
See, I thought that at first, but now I'm starting to see it as his nose, like a big old nose just
Ooh, I see
hanging
it.
out.
That's true too.
Mm,
That's true too.
mm.
And that's it.
Yeah,
So
well,
I would be more than happy to do a Sketch Zone fun prompt. However, while we were getting ready for the show, I did a bunch of updates to the website and crashed it. So
all right, I'm gonna make one in a segue. In a segue into our next topic,
Sean Keenan.
let's do your universe's Spider-Man.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think
let's
my
do that.
universe's Spider-Man just won an Oscar. Just
So
saying.
it's fun prompt
Okay.
to be, and I'll do one. So
So
there's that. Your
cool. I like that
universe's-
idea. I like that
Keenan
idea.
said, my wife just said they're making fun of our last name. Her voice, like overhearing,
Hi, Mrs. Sean Keenan.
overhearing the podcast.
She's like, who in the hell?
Who are you listening to that they're making fun of?
talking about you. Get out that podcast.
They're making fun of our last name.
He just got
That's
slapped in the
hilarious.
car. Shut off the radio.
I'm so sorry.
Look, he said stop. Okay.
Not. This is Carlos. I just read, and I think
What if the Keenans were actually Kenyan? And then you could
The
be like,
Kenyan?
you know, the Kenyan Keenans.
I've had to turn the volume down.
Damn it.
You could have played it
gonna
off
try
and been
to-
like, they're not
I was
talking
gonna
about
try
me.
to get him in trouble, but
They're not talking about me.
he's smart.
I can hear the conversation. Wait a minute. Are they talking about us?
Yeah. So yeah, fun prompt. Your universe's Spider-Man.
That's a good one.
Ready to see a whole bunch of Spider-Man variations.
Spider-Man.
You know, everybody's gonna come out the woodwork for this one. They're gonna see it like, ooh, I'll
I
try.
hope so. We
I'll
like
try
some
that.
fan art. People like fan art.
Mm-hmm.
People like Spider-Man.
The people like,
Boy,
really?
do they.
They built that. Yeah.
Boy, do they.
Be the juggernaut. But then again, you know, just shows how Incredibles has aged. It's just doesn't have the same power as it used to.
Who?
Well, to be fair, it was a sequel.
It was
The
a-
Incredibles?
It took forever to make.
And the Academy,
I thought it was good.
The Academy historically does not love sequels, no matter how good they are.
And we're not even talking about how much they don't watch animation.
Well, okay, we'll get to that one in a minute.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole topic in itself.
Yeah.
You know that requirement, right?
The what happened?
Were you just saying that off the cuff, or are you actually bringing up that topic? Because that actually is like a for real like thing.
Well, no, it was it. I mean, if that's where we're gonna go down, then I'm fine with that
Oh,
because then later we can transition into
yeah,
badass
because there's
animation.
a requirement
Oh,
that
wait,
every other category that the filmmakers or the voters need to watch these films.
Right.
That requirement does not stand in the
For
animated
animation.
picture category.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
So half of these people just vote.
bias. Okay, yeah.
I have no idea. It is the bizarrest thing that their rules are non-uniform and all over the place. It just exactly. It's it shows where their blind spots are, what they really think of animation and visual effects, and the visual effects category has its own history.
We're gonna.
So it's pretty much just like
right, but they didn't.
you can be voting on something and be like, man, I think my daughter liked that movie. I'm gonna vote for that one. And like you don't need to know anything about it.
Never mind the thousands of people working really hard to try to get one.
Yeah. So I don't think we need to really go into the topic much more than that. I just thought I'd make that point known.
Yeah. Well,
But no, it's a big deal because there's a lot of us that it's safe to say that there's a lot of people that watch this show or listen that that want to get into animation.
Yeah.
And
yeah, sure.
And if your goal is to have an Oscar sitting on your countertop as an animator,
Don't go into animation.
don't go into animation. Because nobody's going to watch your stuff.
No,
Nobody at the cabin.
I mean,
Well,
going into it with the goal of having an Oscar is, you know,
Kind of a big goal.
Playing basketball and being better than Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's unfortunate that all these people are working their tails off on a film. And I mean, who doesn't want to be noticed for the efforts that they put into entertaining the planet?
right? Yeah, I mean, especially ones that have been so massively successful, like Incredibles and Spider-Man. And
Hey-oh, Long Arm is here. Hello.
Long arm.
well, hello.
We're talking about how the judges of the Film Academy really don't watch animations. And how unfortunate that is. And I think that
It's not a requirement.
yeah, I don't know. I don't like that.
Glad they kept the cinematography not at the commercial break.
Yeah, that was. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things that happened this year that they changed
They had a lot of time.
due to not having a host. They kind of did some different things, but
Yeah. How did you
And
like
there-
it overall without the host?
I actually didn't watch the whole thing.
I didn't either.
That's fine too. Me too.
I watched some spot bits. And you know what? It doesn't really surprise me that they pulled it off without a host, because I've always thought the host was kind of irrelevant. I mean, they bring on someone special to introduce each category anyway, so it's kind of like, why do you even need a?
And then you have
host?
someone who's somewhat awkward that's going to say something trying to be funny,
Yeah.
and they're just going to piss off half the room by the end of the night. You know,
It's what we as viewers want, though. I like the
unless they're bad. Like
I mean,
I was legit looking forward.
Bad at the.
I was legit looking forward to having Kevin Hart. I think Kevin is hilarious.
Only thing else he needs to do.
Right.
It's literally
So-
why it made it so bad. Made it so unfortunate that he couldn't do it, because literally it's on his bucket list. You know it is. It's the only thing that separates.
It might not be anymore.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back and does it. He just makes a point this year. No, I'm not gonna go back, but because he was making a point. Sat there and watch Ellen beg him for like an hour on her show to do it. And he was like, "You know what? You ain't that powerful."
Yeah. And then there's other stuff that he was going through, because and I haven't yet talked about this openly, so I still, I reserve the right to, like, this is still going through in my head, right? So they went through his Twitter feed from like 4, 5, 6 years ago, and he made some tasteless jokes. And I don't know. I'm not defending him. I'm just trying to figure out.
Well,
It's very similar to what happened with the Dukes of Hazzard, right? So the Confederate flag, people flying the Confederate flag, was part of a culture from way back when in the 70s. And the times were different. Were they right? Were they wrong? That's I don't know how to answer that. I don't fly a Confederate flag. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's what was on the show, and everyone was watching it, and no one really had an issue with that. Kevin's situation is a little bit different because he was being derogatory towards a certain group of the population, And even though back then it might have been acceptable to say some of these things,
Back then,
it's not
how old are these tweets?
what was it, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago? So
I would,
and
I would say they might have been older than that, but
yeah,
yeah.
they were a while ago.
How old is Twitter?
Yeah.
Been around a while. Twitter was the first, remember?
Well, I don't know about that.
But yeah, so anyway, all that to say, you got to allow people to be confronted and become better people from that confrontation. And that's what sparked. No. Actually, that was part of everything that was happening.
The key thing with this, though, is that this has already been dealt with. This is why it's a big thing, because he made those, and then they surface, and they like surfaced maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and it was a big outcry. And he did his whole thing, did his whole apology, and all those others, all that stuff, and dealt with it then, and said it a couple times. Did his whole press run. This happened like 2 years ago, or a year and a half, or something like that, where these things resurfaced, right?
Right.
And then, right as he got the announcement that that he's going to host the Oscars, people on the internet it started to post it again, and then the press and everybody else jump back on it again. So that's why he was like, I'm not gonna apologize again. I've dealt with this. And then the whole back and forth that he had, and then the whole thing with the Academy like bending to public opinion and all that other good stuff, but really not wanting to all that. This is why, like, it's like being a news story a year and a half, 2 years ago, he having to deal with it and having to apologize and do all the things the first time when the people resurface.
Mm-hmm.
What happens 2 years from now when he wants to go do it again and it comes up again? Because literally people online, internet trolls and everything else, like just kept reposting it all that day when it happened. And, you know, the way our social media is intertwined with the media, it just took off on every outlet again, like it was something new.
Right.
You know? And it is to some people that didn't know about it the first time, but this happened already. So how many times do you try a person,
apologize and
try a person for the same thing? That's more so. We always know that the actual things that he said wasn't right. It shouldn't have been said. But if it comes up again, do you apologize again? Like, how many times do you apologize as a celebrity?
Right. And I think that's the weird culture that we have going on right now. Everyone wants everyone to lose their job and pay and pay the price. And I don't know.
Unfortunately, they succeeded with that, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know, because in one breath we say Kevin apologized for what he said, but then if you're not paying attention to American politics, which congratulations, but like the guy from West Virginia who was in his yearbook wearing blackface and everyone wanted him to quit, and when he said no, there was a lot of people that were like, no, you need to quit, right? So that's the dilemma that plays in my head. Is I know that I look at Kevin in a favorable way because I like Kevin, and I see some dude wearing blackface and I don't know him, and I assume that he's an asshole because he's wearing blackface, and only assholes do that. You know what I mean? So I'm not even close to being as lenient with this dude as I want to be with Kevin. Yeah. But it's almost the same exact situation.
And we have to do it for every single comic ever.
Right.
You have to write all of them off then if we take
right. Right.
Because once you do it, you're doomed forever. That's basically what that's saying. Even if you apologize, even if you reconcile, even if you change,
right,
you are from that person. Once you've done something can never come back from it, which seems,
which
won't happen. People won't.
Right, which is inhuman, is what that is, because that's what we are. We're just dumbasses running around trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So the funny part, not the funny part, the interesting part is that if it will come up again when he has another big thing. You know?
Yeah. Because I was kind of watching that whole thing unravel, and he just refused to apologize, and I even understand
happened, and that's why.
And I understand that too, right? Like, how many times he's like, how many times I apologized 2 years ago when this resurfaced, and now you guys want me to apologize again? And then every time that something shows up, you guys are going to want me to apologize yet again for more stuff. Like, when is it going to stop? Was the question that he was asking.
Okay. Well, the controversy was that he never actually did apologize. He's constituting something that is not an apology as an apology. He said a lot of things like, I wouldn't tell that joke now, and it was never my intent to, make this an agenda. Like, he said stuff like that. He never flat out said, like, I apologize for that. I don't believe the same things now. He never said that until he got onto Ellen. So
I don't know. He went on the Breakfast Club in New York City and a bunch of other runs and said it flat out. He's a different person and he doesn't think that way.
Yeah, and more recently. I mean, now that stuff went down.
Well, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And those are things that I'm trying to figure out too, because I say goofy shit just trying to be funny that pisses people off. I really do. I try to be aware of my words, and I say things trying to be funny versus hateful, if that makes sense. If there's something that someone can misinterpret and I'm hurting your feelings, I try to stay away from that.
Isn't that what most comics are doing at some point? It's how the comics
I mean,
Red Fox.
They're trying to figure it out too, but I don't think that comics, and again, I don't think it's fair to tell a comic not to tell jokes.
No. And
doing though.
Monitoring
is not bad. Even if I'm thinking of all the comics in the 90s where all those jokes wouldn't fly now.
Right.
All those HBO specials that I wasn't allowed to watch, back in growing up and stuff like that. Where did all that stuff lie? And I think that's what a lot of comics are saying. All the Bernie Mac stuff, even all the like before Steve Harvey was clean, all the Kings of Comedy, all those different things that happened with a lot of African American comics, and why people laugh at those crazy shows. Why Bill Cosby hated a lot of that stuff back in the day. If we want to go away even back that far, the non-clean comedy.
Right, but I mean,
understand all that stuff from the 90s. Like, Bill Cosby,
I get it. I know.
As a comedian, not all the stuff that happened to him now. Just think of all the stuff of why Eddie Murphy didn't like all that stuff.
Right.
There's a bunch of bad stuff that they've said.
Right. Because if you want to see just an onslaught of homophobic stuff, like, take a look at Eddie Murphy Delirious. Yeah. Holy cow.
Or even if you can even get into the non-African comics, like all the other ones that are
right.
I'm drawing a blank on all the
right. And it doesn't even have to be homophobic, just hateful in general. Because there's a lot of things that we can say about jokes about women that would piss them off. Or there's a lot of jokes about Latinos.
Stereotypical jokes and poking fun at things, like enhancing, scenarios that always seem to be talked about.
Right. So yeah, the Oscars, that's what we were talking about. I was like, how the hell do we go down this rabbit hole?
They couldn't find us. The crazy part about it is they didn't find a host. Or and
that they're talking about having, that they're talking for next year, they're talking about having a robot host.
Wait, what?
Yeah. They want a robot to host the Oscars next year.
They're gonna pay like
talk about
a robot.
Yeah, talk about seriously unplugging from humanity. When that starts to happen,
we need something that we can.
these robots are already taking all our jobs.
Mhm.
Everybody's worried about the Mexicans. Don't worry about Mexicans. Don't worry about these robots.
Wow, this sounds like something out of a movie. The main character walks by and listens to his radio.
So yeah,
that's interesting. They better not do that. That cheapens that. Don't make me watch a fake Avatar.
That's I mean, it reeks of just like gimmicky, like watch our show because but yeah, it does bring into question this kind of real weird, like dehumanizing kind of thing that I would argue the Oscars already suffers from. It's kind of a stale, the elitist stale award show, and to go like just lean into that fully and just be like, we're gonna have a robot deliver the awards. It's kind of like, all right, well,
because humans don't know how to
can't talk about me, robot.
Yeah, you can't be offended by this robot. Hold my beer.
Gosh, the robot's voice is Kevin Hart. Gotcha.
Or the robot malfunctions and starts like snapping on people in the audience.
Your shirt is ugly. Vote Andrew Yang.
Starts telling way more offensive jokes than Kevin ever would have.
It goes exactly. Makes people blush.
Are your parents related? Bop.
Just scan your DNA says that is not your.
Yeah. You are not the father.
I watched the interview with Andrew Yang.
Remember the time I was more human than Rami Malek?
Oh. Oh man.
Oh my God, that's
about to go down.
Right.
Have you guys heard about Andrew Yang? Long Arm said vote for Andrew Yang.
I have not.
No.
Andrew Yang is a guy running for president. And I don't know where I caught his, was it Breakfast Club? It was on my YouTube, but it came up that he was running. I forget where he was being interviewed. I definitely know it was on the radio, but
wait, what did you say? He's running for what?
President. I think it's this talking about Andrew Yang. Yeah. Where did I see that? I watch too much YouTube.
Right.
That's funny. Yep. Yeah, that was him. Yeah.
I've never heard of this dude. I gotta look him up.
Look him up. He sounds legit.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I could find the interview that I heard him on, and I don't want any of these like weird like CNN. It was like a good one. It was like on a regular talk show, like morning show. So he was relaxing. He was just talking. I think it was on the Breakfast Club actually, because now the Breakfast Club has been the spot for all the political guys because they want the brown vote.
Mm-hmm.
But little do they know.
And for folks that
Charlamagne the guy's giving them like random questions that makes them uncomfortable.
And for folks that don't know, the Breakfast Club is a morning show in New York, and they broadcast live on YouTube, I believe.
Nope, he was on Joe Rogan. That's what I heard. That's what
okay.
Yes,
but yeah, so it's a radio show, and they play urban music, which that word triggers me, but
urban
hip hop.
Hey, don't get offended.
Yeah, they play R&B and hip hop, and it's full of robots. No kidding. But these politicians that are running for office, they start going to the Breakfast Club, and just talking, trying to connect with the community. So this is back when Hillary and Donald were running for president, and Hillary said that she walks around with a bottle of hot sauce in a purse.
Oh, is that where that came from?
Yeah,
that was a lie.
Yeah.
Hillary's not even.
I didn't know where that originated.
Yeah, there you go. It's so funny. So yeah, and then now Kamala Harris, who
on there too. Yep.
Yeah, she was talking about smoking weed in college.
Yeah.
And how she used to listen to Tupac and Biggie when she was getting high. And then Fox News quickly then said she's full of crap because Tupac and Biggie weren't even popular yet when she was in college. To which I say, oh, all of a sudden you want to be down with the culture?
Although, and it's weird because the way that happened is Charlamagne was saying random stuff, and she was actually answering Envy's question.
Yeah,
so she never really said that's what she was doing.
and I don't care. Like,
it was just they just spent it.
We have exactly what you said. Like, we have a lot of flawed humans trying to convince other flawed humans that they're not that flawed, and you are.
Yeah.
So something goofy like that.
We'll see how they fare. They want to hear more stuff. I would say listen to the Joe Rogan interview, the full interview.
Yeah,
some interesting ideas, which I kind of like. But both of them, I have to watch more on Camilla Harris. I watched her first interview, but I need more. As you wait, things come out. So we got a good year.
Right. And yeah, and this stuff
until they mess up and start
hearing. And this stuff is happening.
How many candidates is there right now? 3 that's come out so far?
No, there's like,
for the Democrats alone, there's like 6, between 6 and 8. And there might be another one joining in tomorrow, because I think tomorrow's the deadline. That's when Beto O'Rourke has to make up his mind.
And then I asked, I don't even know. I was just liking his ideas. I just realized I don't know what Andrew Yang is. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, what affiliation?
He's an alien.
Is he like Democrat? Is he
independent?
Andrew Yang. The long arm though, because he's the one who's like throwing in the propaganda vote Yang. He is a. Oh yeah, his logo was awesome too. I don't know who the designer.
It's all about the logo these days.
Political graphic design is kind of interesting. Like, there's definitely a niche. You definitely have to really want to do that to be like, I want to make campaign.
I need something that's not going to trigger anyone.
It's
but
but
it includes everyone, but we really want to focus on this one section over there.
Like a Y. If you go to yang2020.com, it's like a Y. It's like, you know what it reminds me of? And I made this joke to somebody else one time. It reminds me of airline logos just flipped and used for a different thing. Every time I see a political person's a graphic design package or whatever you want to call it, branding package, it always reminds me like they fly planes. Like, you never notice that? Have you seen look?
It's super safe.
It's super like, oh dude, I'll get in the airplane and fly and let you fly me across the country because everything about this website makes me feel safe and American. It's red.
Right.
It's cool. All right. Time for me to switch this camera.
All right. So now that we fixed the planet,
I feel good about it.
So back to the Oscars. I had it up. Green Book won Best Picture.
I heard it's good.
I liked it a lot, but yet again, in a world of triggers,
that's
one of my Italian friends on Facebook.
Wait, what?
One of my Italian friends on Facebook shared an article that talked about how Hollywood and the media basically paint the wrong picture of Italian Americans.
Well,
In that film?
in that film for
Yeah.
the guy.
Yeah, because the white dude is an Italian from New York,
Okay.
and he's thuggish.
Okay.
And so the way that he talks is kind of like it makes fun of Italians.
Or does it sound like how they sounded in New York at the time?
And that was going to be my next question.
Right.
So if you do your homework and this guy talks the way that what's his name? Viggo Mortensen. If Viggo Mortensen is talking the way that this guy talks, would that even be considered racially insensitive?
I mean, in the current world, yes.
And that's right. And that's what sucks. Like,
Yes.
so let's say further on down our timeline, let's say all this blows up and we end up being on our own morning show and all this stuff. And someone studies me the way I speak. That doesn't necessarily reflect on the rest of the Latino population.
Right.
But if it perpetuates stereotypes,
But that's just it. I myself perpetuate stereotypes because I love beans and rice.
That's not allowed. You should be
not
more than that. You're more than beans and rice.
Yo.
Not really.
No. But yo, if it's so, I would think he just sounds like a New Yorker.
Then that's insensitive to New Yorkers.
Right. It sounds like
people are just looking for reason. If that's what you got offended by that movie about, you about missed
they want
entire
ship. That movie is, talk about a movie that was riddled with controversy. Like how that thing ever got nominated is beyond me.
Oh, was riddled with controversy? Tell me some backstory.
Yeah, well, so apparently, so it's based on a book, right? And after it was released, the family of what's the musician's name? It's based on
right or Dr. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. His family came out and basically said there's so many, inconsistencies in here. This is not how things went down. And furthermore, this isn't how this guy's relationship with his driver was. Like that you guys are painting him in a very inaccurate light, right? And then there was all these follow-ups and disputes and disagreements, and it went back and forth. And so, on top of just being potentially totally inaccurate, there's also the other people being triggered are now upset that whitewashing is not the right word, but it's kind of the white savior complex type of movie where, we should be telling a story about this awesome black musician, and then we're really just focusing on his white driver. And
I asked that during the Oscars to my in-laws. I was like, "Yo, why is he getting Best Supporting Actor? Isn't it about his character?" Because I didn't see it yet. I haven't seen it.
Well,
I couldn't understand why.
In theory, it should be, but it's a story of really more about his driver and like how much this guy did for him and protect him at these clubs, and it's like.
I think it's more the relationship. What I got out of it was the relationship, because they created and they gave room to a relationship that back in that day, this was not normal.
Yeah.
No, I get it, but you could still make it about what makes the driver interesting enough to center the whole movie,
and that's just it. It's not It's not about him because they both learned from each other.
Yeah, I get you, but
Don't let people trick you into thinking.
I don't think they're not tricking me into, because the way they even won the awards is based on, you know, the way it was written as a story. I gotta find his name so I can say it right. It's not the main character though. That's a fact.
Dr. Ali, right?
Yeah, Ali. He's not.
Yeah.
Even though, what's the guy's name? What's the black guy's name? The one I like him. This is like his second one. He's gonna be good.
I
think you know how like LeBron wins, or when LeBron or somebody wins, like, or Brady. This dude won like twice in like 2 years, back to back, in different movies. I love it.
And he's on HBO's
the new True Detective.
Yeah, True Detective.
Mahershala Ali.
I just want to keep. I just want him to keep.
Oh no, you know what? Ali is the guy's real name.
Yeah, Mahershala Ali's the actor.
It's Dr. Ali. Dr. Shirley.
Dr. Shirley, yeah.
Dr. Don Shirley.
Don Shirley, that's what it is. Thank you. Now you feel better. Yeah, he's not. It just seems like you can still tell that relationship, but make him the main character and it'd be even more so how. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just a weird.
And that's just it.
Because did the guy get nominated for playing the driver in anything?
Did he?
I don't know. I don't know. I only saw that Ali won the best supporting actor for the film.
All right, let's see.
Like,
because again, I don't. What I got out of that movie had nothing to do with the driver was the main guy. Hey, Joey, what's going on? I didn't get that the driver was the main guy. I thought they were co-stars. They both fed off each other. They both focused on this relationship. This relationship turned into something really cool, and they both changed each other. I didn't get nothing about the driver was the main character, none of that stuff.
Who did you think was the focus? You really thought both of them were the focus?
I think both of them. I think their relationship. But I think their relationship was the focus.
But that goes to further illustrate the point that the Academy nominated Mahershala as a supporting actor and Viggo as best actor.
Okay. See, I didn't know that happened, and that's corny. Yeah.
And then even before we watched Oscars that night, my family saw it the night before. Like a couple of them went and saw it. And they kept coming back to me and Monica telling us how we should go see it. It's really good. And then even they said, "Oh, it's about the driver and the relationship he has with this famous a musician who's also got all these degrees and stuff like that too." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Wait a minute." And I even said but it's not about the musician. So that's how I was like,
yeah, and that's what
I do that it makes it like however it is, but
yeah.
And then I saw the Oscars later.
Yeah, he sure did. Oh. Look at that actor in a leading role.
Isn't that weird?
That's very weird.
Was the lead actor? Was his performance Oscar worthy?
He was good, but how many times are you going to let some dude play an Italian that talks in a stereotypical?
I was like,
"Hey, Shiloh, what's going on, man?"
I heard he was nominated, but I was like, "Oh, maybe it was just both of those guys were just creating tearjerker moments all over the movie." And I just benefit of a doubt until we started talking about it now. Hearing some
no, I don't like that decision at all, because again, I'm going to go back to, I thought that they were both co-stars. They both carried that movie. That you couldn't have one without the other.
So if you think about it, that means who's the guy's name who played the driver?
Viggo Mortensen.
That means he got paid more too.
Of course he did.
Let's see.
Even though how many Oscars is
well, let's be so. Viggo has been in the game a lot longer.
I know, and he did look totally different.
Because let me tell you, if you guys remember, Viggo Mortensen, He was in Carlito's Way. He was in Carlito's Way.
Yeah.
And when he rolls in his little wheelchair, he's like, "Look, Carlito, I go poop in a bag." That's that dude. I can't hump. I can't.
Yes, that's the one you bring out.
Hey, you're triggering too many people right now.
What you bring out right now?
Hey, don't be mad at me. Be mad at Carlito's Way.
What else did he do? What did he win?
Hey, Lord of the Rings, y'all. Come on, get out of here.
Stop. Why did I?
Yeah.
I feel so
He's
bad.
a fucking king, son.
Oh my gosh. Why did
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
He was in Hidalgo and Eastern Promises.
So yeah.
A History of Violence.
Oh,
That was a good film.
I saw that one again.
Look at me, Carlito.
don't care about
can't piss. I can't hump.
Okay.
There you go. Check that out. Hey,
Leave it.
you guys watch that video and tell me I didn't nail it. Tell me I didn't nail it. Tell me I couldn't sit in that wheelchair. Look at me, Carlito.
Where'd you put it?
It's in the chat.
I don't see it.
It's in the hang on chat.
There you go. It just showed up.
Yeah, dude. Oh, and for the record, yeah, not all Puerto Ricans are running around New York opening clubs and selling drugs and shit, but that's a good movie.
I love that. That has to be said.
Yeah. Look at me. You got everything, man. Come on.
Yeah, Eastern Promises, Long Run. That was a good
I
one,
gotta
too.
wear diapers, man.
Killed that performance.
I can't walk. I can't hum.
And then he got in trouble for dropping the N-word in an interview. But to be fair, he was using it in context, describing the movie and the relationship and like why the relationship was important.
Right.
He still probably shouldn't have said it.
But that's just it, man. Like,
But
just seeing Into the Spider-Verse, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
glad you said that because we can start talking about
yeah,
that.
let's get on that.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm gonna run through some of the important ones. Black Panther won Best Original Music Score.
First African American female to win a Oscar in the costume category.
Oh, and just to finish up with Green Book, how do you say his first name? Mahershala Ali actually won Best Supporting Actor, and Vigo went home with Mahershala.
Oh, he didn't win. Oh,
No, he didn't win.
No, he did not.
Who is it up against?
He got to hold Mahershala's.
Stupid. No.
Nowhere. Yeah, okay. That's what I was.
He was like up against Bradley Cooper and Rami Malek.
Yeah.
Yo,
And Rami Malek won.
And Christian Bale.
Gotta get back to Bradley Cooper though. Let's just circle back later. We keep going.
Best actor was Rami. For his his role in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Good job.
But Christian
Rami
Bale
Malek.
as Dick Cheney. If you have not seen this
Bananas.
movie,
No, I didn't know that was Christian Bale.
Bananas.
go watch this film. It's not an amazing film. Overall, the film is like okay, it's decent. But man, his performance is not real. Is
it on? Is it spot on?
You don't even know you're watching Christian. You think you're watching Dick Cheney.
I didn't know he was Christian Bale.
It's crazy.
I did not know that was him. I saw the Dick Cheney trailer. I've seen that movie. Did not know it was Christian Bale.
Even when you watch it?
Even when I watch it. I didn't know at first until last night, until the other night when I was watching the Oscars. I was like, oh, that's good. I didn't because I didn't go see the movie. I didn't go see it. I just like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I was like, whoever's playing that's pretty good. But like, and then the George Bush guy just kind of made me laugh. Whoever was playing George Bush, I don't know why. He just seemed a little scary and creepy. Like, come on.
Oh, that's his shtick. They whenever they need some like weird, just not quite right hillbilly, they call him.
Oh, they do that. Who is that?
Yeah. I can't remember
Sam
his
Rockwell,
name.
man.
Yeah.
She's like, it's like, man, it's like charismatic in a weird, creepy way. He's like, come on, you know you want to ride. Come on,
and Steve Carell as Donald Rumsfeld. Like that cast was just out of control,
just fire.
But the movie was kind of like not amazing. I was kind of disappointed, but
because of the stuff, even though everybody's playing people on point, it's like,
yeah.
What was the biggest drama in it? What was it that just like kind of fell flat, right? It's just like,
yeah, I don't know if it was just not a great plot, or if it was just a little lackluster in some of the, like, even though the performance was really good, there were sometimes I didn't feel the chemistry was legit. Like we're each playing each character really, really well, but when we're in the room together and supposed to have some kind of a connection, it didn't always feel right. Yeah, I don't know. Just the overall story was it didn't quite go where I think it probably needed to, but.
And then best animated short went to Bao.
Yeah,
Bao.
Good for her.
Good. Yeah, that was good. That was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool that she got that. Another.
I always have issue with big animation studios winning animated shorts.
But it wasn't though.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean?
Wait a minute.
I mean because they're at a big animation studio, I kind of just I guess. You think that's only supposed to be an indie thing?
Yeah, I mean,
and maybe that's that's the purist side of me, because, and again, I mean, I guess this goes to show you that, like the Oscars are stacked. It's,
I don't know. I felt happy for the director because,
So it says, I'm looking at IndieWire.com. It says this year's Oscar race for Best Animated Short is led by Pixar's China-flavored Bao from Chinese-Canadian story artist Domi Shi. And apparently she worked on Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 4. You see what I mean? Moving on. The first woman to direct a short at Pixar, which is incredible. Like, how long has Pixar been around? And
she's had John Lasseter one of her interviews.
We can talk about that too. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to scoop them all up for like the 2-hour film, like full-on feature film, there's not a lot of people, not a lot of normal people are going to be able to pull that off. So, and Jack and I have had this conversation before, but
is it a normal person award?
Wait, I'm lost. Where are you going?
I'm going to the point to where, like, if the three of us got together to create an animated short, we're going up against Pixar.
Oh yeah,
and Disney.
Yeah.
Bring it.
I mean,
I know.
I mean,
but,
you know what I mean?
Don't you gotta get to a certain level anyway, though, to get that be nominated?
Right.
Or it's not
what you do is
not an indie thing though. Like there's a bunch of like film festivals, all the other things. There's a bunch of things that, like, with a lot of money,
you have to win a certain amount of win a certain amount of film festivals to be able to qualify for the Oscars.
Yeah.
Or there's like a side thing where you can have like a certain amount of theaters that play your movie for a certain amount of time. That also qualifies you.
Yeah. But I
guess that's it's just huge corporations gobbling up literally everything. They don't leave anything for the little guy, I think is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point that's super clear that the Oscars, that's what the Oscars are, right?
The Oscars are like, all-star weekend for movies. you know?
Yeah. And maybe
that's indie short, and it was like Pixar wins.
Yeah. And maybe that's
okay.
that's me just having to come to grips with the fact that that's how the world is.
I mean,
I think so a little bit, but like, I get what
well,
you're saying.
I mean, the Oscars is a very specific microcosm. I mean, it's clearly for the industry, by the industry. It's. I mean, look at all the controversy that was with Netflix. I mean, they were trying to block them out as well. So it's like it's not.
It's not.
I don't
just
think. I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't take it so. Yeah, I wouldn't take it so personally. Like, man, look what they're doing to the little guys. It's like,
right.
Nah, this is just an award show by big people for big people, and
creme de la creme, super exclusive.
Yeah, I mean,
like the Grammys, like.
That's not necessarily. No, I'm gonna disagree with you there because Chance himself, Chance the Rapper, has.
Yeah, the Grammys have had quite a few surprise.
Well, who? But Chance the Rapper, what though?
Huh?
Because he's not grassroots indie, really, as he claims he is. There's no indie artist that gets mass plays on the radio nationally.
You should watch him on Joe Budden.
I do. I followed Chance ever since he came out of high school. I do.
Joe Budden too. Joe Budden confronted him about that, and he goes, "I was on the phone. It was either him or his manager, was on the phone with Apple trying to get on, and he was on the phone with the different radio stations trying to get on." Yeah, I don't fully know his story.
Chance is one of my favorites. Joe's been talking about Chance for the last like 3 years before he even got on the show. But even before Joe's show was a thing, and when Chance was just in Chicago, he got really big. But like definitely selling his the first run of Coloring Book to Apple, and then that opening a lot of doors to get him more distribution everywhere. Because you cannot tell me his manager called every major market. It's not possible. Like helped them get, and then they changed that, like that ruling with the Grammys that year, which was all just like perfect timing too, and because then they allowed to do streaming, which now SoundCloud artists and everybody else can get it. But he was a pretty big force, because no one's done it since, in terms of like got on that stage, and there's a bunch of SoundCloud artists that are pretty good, but not the same magic. I feel, with that. But I think he was a unicorn a little bit, or you have to be really big because like everybody was playing his stuff. I mean, they were even playing his like old mixtapes and stuff like that too, like on the radio. Like ones when he got like some of the mixtapes he got suspended from school and made, like old school ones that like they were playing at like in the middle of the afternoon. So it was just like a different. I feel like it was just like a different beast, and he was like almost undeniable. You had to do it. And then they changed the thing. It's like, okay, well, cool. Of course he should be, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, is what it is. I guess for some reason my brain is preparing me for the future. and I like once I get on my path, I don't want to be squeezed out because I'm not cool enough to hang out with these knuckleheads.
Well, you won't be. Just be undeniable like Chance.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So put in the work. Okay, fine.
Yeah, you'll put in the work. But I'm just saying, he got so big, you know, even before Coloring Book came out, and then he had influential people in his career also. I mean, he definitely was indie, but it was indie with like the greatest battery in your back that you can get put into, to me.
Sure.
But
yeah.
I just don't want to mess up. Don't go crazy or anything, Chance. You're all I have left right now.
He's
Childish Gambino's gonna mess around and just like retire and do some Prince stuff, and I'm not gonna get any more music from him either.
Right.
Because I think he really is retiring this year.
Yeah, I heard that too.
He got one more album, and he's gonna be.
That he's done with the Childish Gambino thing,
and I believe him. I believe he'll do some things where he'll be like,
have to
you know
do
what,
it anymore.
lock it away. It'll be some Andre 3000 because he likes Andre 3000. Also, that's one of the people we look up to. Andre did that. Andre just laid it down and walked away.
I mean,
get a feature like once every year. He'll do a random feature, Andre. But
yeah,
well, you know he can make an album. You know he's got really good music.
Right.
He just won't make an album because he don't want to. I don't whatever reason. It's like the reverse Prince. Like Prince is like, I'm just gonna make stuff. It's gonna be amazing and undeniable. Andre can make stuff, but doesn't. Like, damn, don't get me started. I'm sorry. We're gonna get sidetracked. It's just like I just hope this doesn't catch on. You know, like I got my 5 albums and I'm out. That's all I need.
Yeah, but I mean, you get the vibe that dude's like an actual artist, and he thinks kind of differently than other people, and like
give him the pass, right?
If he's done with it, he's done with it, and he's gonna do some other crazy thing and surprise us all and be like, "Oh, who knew that he was that guy?" You know, it's like
it's the same with Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
I just want him to get off this like suspense thing, and I want some other kind of movies because I know you're really good.
He will. This, I think he's got just like a passion for this stuff, so it's kind of like, ooh, I don't know that for a fact. I've never seen him like say it or anything. I just get that vibe, like as a writer, as growing up as a film lover, like he's always just like wanted to make these some like horror films or whatever. So. And they do well, you know. It's like they're really easy to get funded. They tend to really do well revenue wise. So it's not necessarily a stupid move.
No, it's not for sure. I see what he's doing.
But he's like producing all sorts of stuff now. He just released Lorena on Prime and like.
So what is that one? I heard somebody tell me that I should check that one out.
I haven't watched it. I don't know a whole lot about it, but yeah, he's a producer on that, and then he's working on that series for HBO
with somebody else too, right?
Yeah.
Who's it's a duo? But what is it about? I remember I heard.
It's called Lovecraft Country. It's like loosely. He's working with J.J. Abrams and who's that other guy? Can't remember, but it's basically it's like he takes H.P. Lovecraft like weirdo sci-fi like nutty fantasy, but then setting it in like the Jim Crow South. So,
interesting. Really?
Yes, it's a little bit of what's the movie? Get Out. It's a little bit of that, but like
it's sci-fi though.
Instead of like supernatural. You know, possession. Now it's like sci-fi weird fantasy stuff.
I'm on board.
Because you know Lovecraft, right? It's like the weird, like tentacle aliens and stuff.
I was like, is it more H.P. Lovecraft or more Jordan? I want the perfect mix because I haven't seen anybody really do his stuff.
I have not seen a whole lot of Lovecraft stuff.
Right? I can't think of it.
It's not done well.
I can't think of anybody who's.
I mean, you know, some of the Stephen King stuff has been very Lovecraftian in feel, but like, I don't know. It's conversation. I like it when they genre mash and he mixes the stuff in it. Obviously, there's gonna be a ton of like thematic overlaps. I mean, the same way that he did with Get Out, how he utilized all the supernatural and the demonic stuff to also fit in thematically with racism and the class divide and all that stuff. So I'm sure he's got like a really clever clever reasons for using Lovecraft specifically.
Yeah. He's like one of them super nerds that like reads. So I'm like,
yeah, man. That the fact, that's what I think more we're learning. Yeah, you're starting to realize just how deep this guy's like knowledge and affinity for film and like books and culture just is. It's like
amazing, and I like you a lot. All right.
Go.
Can everybody see my screen? Just so you know.
Yeah.
Cool. Side note, we'll keep talking. I don't want to derail it. We'll come back.
So you got a cube. What are you doing with a cube?
I'm gonna start modeling. This is a free program. I'm gonna talk to you guys.
You got a cube in there.
It's the craziest 3D program I found for free ever. And it's
more than Blender.
This is just Modeler. We've been going on I've been going on modeling things. So I pulled out Silo while you were gone.
Oh, Silo.
And I unearthed Silo, and I got Carlos to look up his account.
And I got it back, son.
And he got it back. He was like, yo, I forgot I like this modeler. This has got no bullshit, just modeling and like sculpting. Well, Carlos,
that's so weird. I remember
right?
I remember where I was living and what I was doing when I was trying to learn Silo.
Yo, you could
I don't know what that means. It just means that I remember Silo pretty well for some weird reason. That
statement is what happened to Carlos last episode. Nostalgia flew over Carlos.
Yeah.
He sat there and watched in awe. I don't think I even made anything with like some weird.
He made a little weird trash can thing.
Yeah, but he was like, yes, I need this. This is what I'm talking about. Like he started, like the wheels started turning. I don't know what he's going to use.
Long arm. Check out the last couple episodes, but it's a modeling program. It's kind of like, what would you compare it to? Like a little bit like Moto.
Yeah. Back in early 2000s, like there was a wave of like modeling programs that were like specifically do thing and do it really well. And Silo was like a 3D modeling program that can like UV, it can sculpt, and
they were sort of like competitors to
ZBrush. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this would be I think, because for a while,
because ZBrush was around, but at that point it was like
ZBrush kind of sucked back then. Yeah.
Well, it was like elitists only. Like only people who knew about ZBrush could do ZBrush.
Right.
It's like it hadn't
weird. Like yeah.
And for the record, this is still the case.
Yeah, I didn't say it isn't. I said it was that way back then.
Oh gosh. No, but like so there's like these modelers, and you see these guys like, I'm gonna go old school, like Glenn Southern, look him up. Like they would like be really good at just modeling, like polygon modeling. Like back in the day, like modeling meant like you start from a cube and you make Loki. Or you make the Hulk. And then you knew you were a badass. And then like it was almost harder to like teach it and learn it back then, because even though we used to make fun, you've heard it on the show, if you look back in a couple episodes over the past couple of years, we talk about old school like art magazines and like websites where they would have a cube like this. And then next you know, they have a perfect like gray clay model of like Charlize Theron.
like,
perfect.
Just push and pull these points.
And it'd be like a 2-page tutorial of just text and 2 pictures. And you're like, I can't stand you. What is that? And then like ever start watching back in the day, you used to watch a modeling program and you see the dude start pulling stuff like they're like, this is gonna be the nose. And I remember in college being like, this thing is black magic witchcraft. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm ever gonna learn to model. So it's like beginning of the class, we have a good friend named Jared. He would like start out, box would look like this. Into the class, it'd be a head with eyes and like a really cool looking mouth, and like he'd be like, but he started like this. And he'd be like, I'm gonna give you the base model, which would be like the box like this. He'd be like, what does this mean? Yeah. And he'd be just like changing it and like deleting like faces or whatever. It'd be like, all right, we're gonna put the hole for the eyes like here. And he'd be like, what are you talking about?
I don't know what to do.
You would just, you would just start adding like edges and just knew where to push and pull points, and it would just be like, oh yeah, if you need help like visualizing it more, like, you know, we'll just like extrude out the neck. And be like, and he would just like extrude it out. We're like, but it's a box in the head. What is this? And it'd be like, this is gonna take me so long to do. You only gave me a week. to the next class. And then he just like starts smoothing it. And he would just like subdivide it and it'd be amazing. And he'd go in. So I found this program. It's called Rocket 3F. Yo, some programmer made this name. Like,
that name though has got to go.
Thank you. I knew it.
That's some dude. That's some dude.
Oh, hang on. Before we go too far, we haven't even talked about best animated feature.
Oh, back up. Come back to me later. All right, bye.
Okay. Best animated feature was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, favorite movie of last year.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Favorite movie.
I'll go as far as to say, in my opinion, it comes in second overall favorite for me. Second only to Disney's Robin Hood.
Yo.
Wow.
For real?
You crossed genres into the 2D? Yeah, I like it.
Holy
wow.
Yep. I'll go that far.
Are you going that far? Or are you just is it for shock?
Oh no, I've been that far.
Okay, cool.
I've been that far. I loved it. I love the style. I love the music. I love the story itself. Big statement. I know.
Let me ask just one question to push on that a little bit.
Go.
Okay.
Do you think it will hold up in 10, 15 years? Do you think it will still be as good of a film?
Story-wise, I'm going to have to say story-wise, yeah. Technology-wise, I don't think so.
Say yes. Say yes.
No.
Why? Did you watch the making?
In about 10 years, making of none of that shit really matters because I don't have to see the making of Disney's Robin Hood to know that it's an amazing movie.
Well, why would you say the technology hold up though? Then? Because I think the technology's pretty legit on it. There's some things they've done that people that they haven't done before.
Right.
In cinema. In that way, in terms of rendering something that looks 2D but it's all 3D.
Right. So okay, so let me say it like this. When you draw something, it looks like a drawing today, and it's going to look like a drawing in 10 to 15 years. Versus take a look at Toy Story 1.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
But would you say that if you take the production model from Toy Story 1 and how it's constructed and everything, you're saying that that it ages worse than a drawing does?
Yeah.
Because if you just take the artistry of the modeling or whatever, render it today, I would argue that it would.
I don't know.
How it's constructed is like to get that type of emotion out of it would be artistry in itself.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I looked up at Joey's comment. He said the music will date it surely. Well, yeah, but the same thing happened to whatchamacallit, Robin Hood, right? Nobody walks around saying oodalali anymore.
Well, nobody ever said that. Come on, let's not act like back in the 60s people were saying that.
Yeah. They're saying, yeah. So yeah, I mean, music is one of the things that Joey said I do. Okay. I stand corrected.
And that's because of Robin Hood.
Right. Right. But yeah, like music itself, you have to be you have to be a little bit lenient, right? Because it just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's music that happened back when Beethoven was making music and on, Hot 95, whatever. When he was out doing his tours and stuff.
This is harpsichord 95.8.
Right. So if they were making movies back then, there would be a bunch of,
and there were
dramatic.
when they did stage plays and stuff. That's like the type of stuff that would be up in there,
right? And the music dates it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I'm not really asking if it's going to be dated because Robin Hood's dated. All of that stuff, pretty much everything you can usually tell when it was made, but
the fact that it was drawn is dated.
That's a sad fact.
Drawed?
Who does that no more?
Who does drawing anymore?
He said no more. That's just not possible. That's crazy.
So yeah. Definitely I agree with Joey that the music will date it, but that's literally everything.
Well, because the reason I bring it up, right, is because you have stuff like you compare a lot of the old classic Disney stuff that still holds up really well, and kids still watch it and don't even blink an eye and have no clue that it was made 30 or 40 years ago. It's still an amazing movie. It's still really well produced. And then you have some other animated films like, I don't know, like say, Shrek 1 is still pretty good, but there's some issues with it, right? So they relied a lot on like pop culture.
2-year-old loves Shrek 1 and I can't stand it.
Yeah, and so because of that, because the story maybe wasn't necessarily quite as timeless, and a lot of the humor did rely on pop culture or pop culture references, like it doesn't hold up quite the same way now. And even so, kids don't necessarily love it the same way now.
Yeah.
So I guess that's my kind of question about this is do we think as amazing as a film as it is today, do we think it's going to be like in 20 years, like that movie still holds up?
I hope so.
Yeah.
For me, it will. And there's a lot of people that'll argue with me that Robin Hood was not Disney's finest effort. To which I say kick rocks, but
by every stretch of the word, it wasn't. But I agree with you. It's one of their better ones.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? As far as Spider-Verse goes, it not only was the technology super cool.
Yeah.
The story was good.
Yeah.
And when the mom came in speaking Spanish, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they had a mixed couple,
mm-hmm.
And a strong, and look at how crazy things have gotten. The fact that she was either Puerto Rican or Dominican, married to a black dude. She was bilingual, and they were together and a happy family. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
He had a good job.
Yeah, and he had a good job.
And he's in a private school.
That too.
Took him out of
you know what I mean? Like
they
on so many levels, it was cool because none of the black dudes, none of the brown kids were out selling drugs.
Right.
They weren't foul-mouthed.
Yeah. They were defacing New York property, but that's okay because that's cool. It's hip hop.
Right. Right. I mean, I'll give them that much.
Like,
there's a limit. There's a limit to.
Always that one uncle.
But you know what's cool is that art form is ours.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We created it. And so, and the fact that yeah, just like that whole hip hop influence, um, uh, that he used graffiti to like redecorate his outfit.
Mhm.
The fact that we had so many different spider
Versus.
things, spider people.
Versus. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. That was super cool too. You had a pig, you had an Asian with a robot, you had like all these things were happening that, and there were nods to pop culture from those different uh um
Yeah.
cultures, I guess, to say the same word twice. Um
I'll allow it.
so yeah, it was really cool. The effects were cool. The way that they worked in classic comic book things to it.
Dude, they modeled.
So if you're a fan of comic books, you're gonna like the movie. Um yeah, it was just really good. The fact that they made fun of really bad Sony Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, the self-awareness is pretty nice. I mean, that always kind of
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Wade Ryer been on the show, posted a picture of the actual.
Yeah, I saw that too. I'm like, you are.
He didn't work on it, but he's like, "Yo, I'm at this party though. I'm at the
Hell yeah, I don't blame you.
he had that thing gripped tight."
Hell yeah.
you got to. I remember when I held the Oscar for buttons, they're like, take off your rings, take off your. It's like a whole thing. Don't scratch it.
That's funny.
Is it heavy?
Yeah, it
Got a
is.
good weight to it.
It is heavy.
I'm surprised more people don't drop it when they first get it handed to
Nah,
them.
man, when you have that thing, you got a vice grip
Lock
clutch. Did you
on.
see Rami Malek fall off the
So
stage?
that model hands it to you with one arm, like because she's. I always think there's always some. It's like as soon as he hand it to you, like, oh, this is okay.
Yeah, but did you
This
see
is
Rami
for
Malek?
real.
Rami Malek fall off the stage, and he still held on to it. He like kept it all protected from hitting the ground and stuff.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. Nuh-uh.
Yeah, I guess it happened in like a commercial break. He was walking down and he felt like flat up. He even got treated for some injuries. I think he cut himself or twisted an ankle or
Damn.
something. But like, there's some video of it, and he's like holding the Oscar up in the air as he falls to the ground.
Yeah, that's commitment. He's like, no,
Not today.
this Oscar shall not hit the ground. Ooh, what is
That's
that?
funny.
Does this make a circle? Are you serious? No, it doesn't.
But the interesting, everybody talks about the technology. It's like everybody I've talked to that's worked on it is like, there's not that many big secrets. Like we kind of,
Yeah.
we kind of did this the hard way. Like it's kind of exactly what you think. We went through and we kind of chopped up frames and made them look a little choppier. And like, there's a lot of hand drawn 2D stuff to make it look 2D. And like, there's not like some like one button technology they developed that made it look like that. But that's kind of the way it's
asymmetrical on purpose, like because you don't draw perfect either. So
yeah, I mean a lot of the stuff is just old school techniques that they just really nailed all. They just brought it all together from all aspects. I mean, from lighting and lick dev, from modeling to animation style to 2D final effects, and like. Is really well, and the one thing I noticed about it was I don't know that I've seen an animated film with compositions that incredible. Like every single, like as dynamic as a comic book is, every single shot, and not just every single shot, like almost every single subframe of that film is so thoughtfully composed. Like it's unreal, like how the action flows and how everything just perfectly draws your eye, and it feels like you could just stop on any frame and it's like a printable frame from a comic book.
yeah, yeah, that's good.
Yep, I liked it. I took my I think think she's 10 years old, my 10-year-old niece, to see it. And at the end of it, she goes, that was amazing.
Perfect. Yes, it was.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. She loved it, which was cool because I was like just all kinds of giddy.
Oh, Rocket. I thought you.
So yeah, if you guys get a chance, I love Dr. Octopus's arms. Long Arm said I never gave Shrek a chance. I mean,
no, okay. Let me give my Shrek, and this is not just because I work at DreamWorks. Really, it's not, because I will.
The opinions being shared by Jack Casper is accurate.
No, because I'll be super candid about this. Like I was never a huge DreamWorks fan in college. Like growing up, I'd never really. That just wasn't the films I enjoyed. I didn't really like all the pop culture references. I didn't think they were as good of films as Disney or some of the other guys out there.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, obviously, everybody, when Shrek came out, it was like a thing. It was, it had its moment, and I liked it at the time. That was kind of when I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then it kind of fell off the radar, and I didn't give it another chance until, honestly, just this last, I think it was Christmas. They were playing it on TV or whatever, and I was watching it, and it's a really good film on the whole, not just because it is like challenging fairy tales, and like, I mean, that alone was already like a thing. It was kind of like the first to do that, to kind of really be the anti-hero to the anti-fairy tale to fairy tales. But more importantly, if you're like an animation geek and all the history about Disney and the politics and all the stuff that went down with Katzenberg and Spielberg and all the guys from Disney that went off and started DreamWorks, that's when the film becomes really interesting, and you really have a whole new respect for it, because really what it is kind of this autobiography of DreamWorks. And I never really saw it that way until now that obviously I work in the industry and I know a lot of the history. But it's basically, because what went down is obviously, there was a lot of politics, and there was a big rift in Disney, and then Katzenberg and a bunch of other guys split off, and we're like, screw you guys, we're going to start our own company and compete with you. Not only are we going to do that, they bought property right in the middle of all of Disney's.
It's the weirdest thing when I first went out there.
Yeah. So those guys who aren't familiar or who have never been to LA, so Disney owns like a massive, like, I would gather to say it's maybe like a full square mile. That's probably a large estimate, but it's probably like 8 to 10 city blocks they own of land, where they've got their animation studio. They've got a couple of film hangars. They've got, since obviously they own ABC, they've got ABC on there. They've got a whole bunch of stuff, and they've got all their auxiliary stuff too, that like manages theme parks, and like, it's just a lot of stuff in Burbank, Glendale area. Like it's just a whole bunch of stuff. And then right smack dab in the middle of it is this like relatively small studio, which is DreamWorks. That's just like right there on Flower Street, like right in the dead middle of all of the other, every building that's around DreamWorks is a Disney property.
Yeah. So see, I thought it was the other way around. I thought DreamWorks bought that, and then Disney bought all around them. But it
it was kind of an ongoing thing that Disney had a lot of their property and was quickly expanding, and DreamWorks sort of bought it as kind of the thumb in the face, and then Disney just enclosed around them and made it impossible. So it was kind of like a feuding war, if you will. Like, right?
That's hilarious.
We ate lunch there, right? Yeah, right, Carlos? Yes, we did. With Wade. Was that at DreamWorks or was that Disney?
Oh, yeah. No. I think he was working at, it wasn't DreamWorks. Because I didn't go to DreamWorks until Jack took me.
Oh, so it was Disney.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
because you showed me
He was
DreamWorks,
on like Disney Gaming or Disney Online or
okay.
something.
No, yeah, because you showed me where it was. That's why I was like, oh, why is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Keep going, Jack. Yeah.
So the whole thing is like there was this, this massive ongoing feud between the two studios, and Katzenberg and his posse pulled off and were like, okay, we're gonna do this thing, we're gonna compete with you. And their first massive success is this film that basically is anti-Disney in every way possible. Not only is it just anti-fairy tale from like a thematic and story point. I mean, the villain is literally based on Farquaad is basically a caricature of Eisner.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and obviously there's the whole Disney world, basically, that Farquaad land or whatever the hell it's called that he lives in, and like all of the nods to Disneyland and the attack on the kingdom and all this stuff, right? And like basically how Farquaad is like abusing all of the fairy tales for his own good and his own wealth, and it's really subversive in that way, and that it's basically just a giant attack on another company, right? And then what's even more interesting is not just a flat out attack. It's also like a super self-aware
look real quick.
Yeah, there you go. It's also a really interesting, super self-aware kind of self caricature of DreamWorks. At the time, they sort of viewed themselves as this ragtag group of team that was going to go off and do these films, and they viewed themselves as kind of the ugly stepchild that was forbidden off to the swamp. So Shrek is effectively like DreamWorks, right? It's like this, we're the ugly character that's gonna compete against you, so like get out of my swamp and let me, like, the whole theme is literally just, if you just view it from that lens, it's a really good film, and all, like, so many jokes and so many like character interactions feed that. And it wasn't until I kind of learned all that and like realized that I was like, man, this is actually a really well made film, like story-wise and thematic. I mean, it has its issues, like technologically, it certainly looks super dated and whatnot.
Right.
But yeah, that's my thing on Shrek. I don't think it applies for the follow-up movies, Shrek 17 and 18 or whatever it is. So, but certainly the first one is.
No, I didn't know.
Have a good day at work, Joey.
That's awesome. See you, Joey.
Oodalali. Nice.
Oodalali.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
That's really cool. I like that.
I mean, it's petty. It's just a little personal feud, but it's cool.
But
makes
it's cool to see the history behind it. Because to tell you the truth, I watched Shrek. Everyone was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs about it, and I was just like, it was fine.
Yeah, and it
was funny.
You're like, oh, this is cool. It's making fun of fairy tales in a new way, and it's like it was. Yeah, exactly. But I was kind of that same way. So what do you got, Chuck?
Oh, the program?
What is it called again? Rocket?
It's called Rocket 3F.
That is some guy in his bedroom that
when I went to the YouTube, it is exactly some dude
that learned C++ and was like Rocket Force 55.
It's pretty good. It's free. So if you go to Rocket 3F
with a name like that, it better be.
Well, you could. So I don't understand. I'm still trying to figure out what I guess he's leaning on pros need to customize and have customize their hotkeys. I'm the type of person to try to just learn the default and not switch around too much. And because he has all these hotkeys, like the cool thing about this, every button in this thing has this much information about it. That it's great, and it tells you what the hotkeys are, whatever.
Wait, what? What? I don't see what you're talking about. What? Is there like a hover over or something?
Yeah. So if you look here, see how much
Oh, good lord.
everything has a
Yeah,
tool.
yeah.
Everything is documented. You know, with it's you can pick up this program and play and start messing with it without knowing how to use it and kind of get it. All the traditional arc rotates and stuff like that, which is nice. You know, you got your 3 modes here. You got the 3D mode here, which is general perspective.
Wait,
front,
yo,
right,
which axis is up?
right now, you could change it, but right now I have is Y green up, Y up. But yeah, you could change that. You could change the pivot positions, pivot orientations. You could do a manual pivot mode or object. You got some render, subdivisions, isolate, all the good stuff. It's all symmetries, create, plane. It's all good in terms of stuff here that you need. All the things. A lot of different snapping, snapping to the grid tools. You got a lot of viewport tools down here at the bottom. Grid tools to change your grid sizes and stuff like that. Rendering. There's a little render and things. Nothing to write home about. That's not what you use this program for. Couple different primitives up top here. Like it has everything there. And then like from what I see, the poly modeling is pretty good. Extrude loop knife tools. Even has relaxed tools and a couple different. And they change mode contextually. It changes based on the mode you're in. So you have your vertex is your hotkey is 1. Edge is 2 and polygon is 3, but as you can see, your sub-object tools change based on what you're in, which is how it should be too. So in polygon mode, you have all the things like insert, bridge, shell, poke, turn 45 degrees, sub D, flip poly. You got a draw tool. It has a retopple tool by just drawing on the mesh and it sticks to the mesh.
That's cool.
So you can draw freehand. It has a sculpting section. It has a material library here. Nothing big right now, but like it takes a note out of ZBrush, so it has its own matte caps here. So look at this. You have all these like super nice shaders you can use while you're painting and stuff like that, or while you're sculpting and stuff. So that's kind of nice. So you just instantly add it on, and now you have, once you smooth it, see. So it has an interesting like shader engine in here that I haven't really looked into yet. Now this thing can still be edited on. So
that's a pretty good live.
Right.
What would you call that? Is it a renderer? What do you call these live?
Yeah. ZBrush calls it a madcap, but yeah. I haven't gotten into this because I found out about it a couple weeks ago and then saw it tonight.
Is that reflecting what's happening in your room right now?
It's got an HDRI, so no. So you see how there's HDRI stuff like
Oh, that's not your room right now. Delete that. Uninstall.
Yeah, it's looking in through my screen.
Through your webcam.
Yeah. So it does have it, and it has a bunch of different ones here, right? So, and usually in ZBrush, this became a thing where you get your matte cap just right. Maybe you like this one here for sculpting, and you use that because you like what the gray looks like or whatever. So that's kind of cool too. You can like tear these guys off, and you can put them anywhere you want. Pretty nice and pretty easily. These little floating things. So it seems like the free version is full unlocked, and the only thing you don't get with the free version is
save.
Right? The only thing you don't get is the ability to customize. This is the weird part.
Do that shit.
So you can't customize like hotkeys and stuff like that. Like get in there and change the hotkeys. I've been able to customize my general layout here, and when I close it, it saves and remembers. So I'm good. I just want to move a couple, windows around to make it feel, familiar, and I'm good. But like you can get in your bag more and customized to your heart's content. I still might I think it's so good. I think I still might support the guy. But I don't know who made this website for him too. I feel like
You probably did.
I feel like I'm on a creepy preschool site or something like that. But
it works.
But it works. So it's good. But look,
Sketchstone is down AF.
yeah. So I saw these images online, and I was like, okay, there's some people using these things, and you can just see a couple of examples of people modeling stuff like that. So it's a modeler, like we talked with Silo. Its job is the model stuff. And it looked like he does it pretty well. But there's some things here, like with that bending tube and the trying to do some cloth thing, because there is some sculpting stuff you could do with it. And the hard surface stuff is nice. There's a hard surface mode which it tries to basically add hard edges to certain parts of your model while you're modeling. So I haven't tried that yet. So you can get some stuff like this, and then you can see that he's using some of those madcaps and stuff. You can get some more toon render type stuff here, and obviously the mod's gonna be as good as the community that's using it right now. But it seemed pretty cool. Interesting enough, they have some bridges to other programs out there. Moe is a really cool parametric modeler, kind of like Fusion 3D, that you can send stuff over to. You can send stuff over to 3D Coat, which I thought was interesting too. That's a modeler / sculpting.
I like 3D Coat. I've used that a bit.
Yeah, that's kind of like a ZBrush competitor, and you can send it over to Keyshot. So if you go into real fancy render, Keyshot's basically a rendering program in the product design industry that allows you to render stuff out with physical based textures and stuff like that. It's really good for product rendering and does chrome and all this other stuff really well.
Tokoski's big on that one.
Yeah, he loves himself some Keyshot. Being able to render without having to do the render settings. So this program is cool. I say if you're looking for another modeler, try this. This has a little bit more features. A little more different features. So whenever you get programs like this, their bread and butter gets a little bit different than a Silo, because the programmer is cool, I'm gonna make this, I'm just gonna keep adding stuff. So I was watching his 1.6, which is what version this is, and it was interesting on all the different things. I was like, wait a minute, you can do that? I was like, okay, cool, let me find that. Because then I saw the sculpting thing. I was like, oh, you can sculpt? I don't know where the sculpt thing is in here. I'll have to find that. I watched a retopple one last night, which was really nice, where you can go here and say, okay, cool. Let's just here. Is there another madcap that's not so intense? Yeah, we'll just do the orange. Yeah, there we go. Also, I don't know where this lighting's coming from. We got to figure out what's getting lit. But so you got your guy here, and say you want to retop. Let's figure out where this retop is. Blue tool. Oh yeah. So you have kind of a Maya style outliner, so it has all your different guys here. So I can just go boom, go in. There's my geosphere, and you are being smooth. Turn you off. Can I subdivide you? Okay, I just took it off. Okay. Interesting. Apply. Ooh. That did something, right? All right, cool. And then can Charlie... There's a... Where would retop be? Let's go edges. So maybe I can go back to object mode. Oh yeah, object mode. There is a retop button here. So it turns the model white, right? And then I love that they do all the little, they tell you what the things here. So left mouse button paints your selection. Middle mouse button does a rectangle selection, and then right mouse button does a rectangular selection too. Okay, cool. Oh, the middle mouse button does a rectangular ray cast. Okay, cool. That makes sense. So if I have the retop on, I must use the draw tool. So if I use this draw tool with the retop turned on, can I just go like this? No. Yeah, I haven't done this one yet, but let's see here. Draw, cut, drawing bridge. I feel like I'm in the wrong section. I don't want that. So just you. You turn white. Huh. Okay. Try to keep it disabled because some objects may start to look not correctly. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. So you right click and you get the menu. You say add from scene. I don't know. So there's a geosphere as my reference one. Now I want to draw on top of it. Can I just do this guy and just draw a knife? Pour from scene. Oh, draw mesh. Alt is cut. Okay. Interesting. So I had to figure that out, but I saw this work yesterday. It's a way for me to now that the mesh turns white. There's a way for me now to just like start to like draw on top of this. I have to figure out what it is. I wonder if I just use. I wonder can I use a plane now? I just create a plane. It's too big. It's too small. No, I won't do that. I'm not gonna do it either. Oops. Okay. Cool. Interesting. All right. Yeah, but it's a cool program. You should try it out. It's free. You can download it free, and then you set up a login. When you set up a login, it creates your free version of the license. So if you let's look at this, where is that? Boom, boom. So go in here. I've already made one, so I'll log in. And then it takes you straight to the forms. Look at their forms. It's so precious. Even with the doily bottoms to the things,
oh man, what is that?
You gotta love it.
Right?
No, you don't.
There's a Dutch community that loves this thing.
Dutch community.
Well, the one of the things are in Dutch, yeah. So here's the see. You can use. Oh, sorry, let me stop. Oh, so that's the push and pull. Okay, they're right there. He's in polygon mode. Okay. All right, cool. Let me see something here. They do have the sculpting. Let's see. Give me another circle. Give me a circle this time. Create. Oh, why are you so small? Don't be that way. Done. Done. Subdivide it. Smooth it. Subdivide it. Cool. WER. They're not trying to be like ZBrush. Pretty much 3D program standard. The cool part about this, just like Silo, there's no weird like hotkeys. If you use a 3D program before, that you're not like, oh, does the E go to scale? Yeah. There's an R go to rotate. Cool. Does W move? Yay. So like, I love that. Let's close this out and turn off retopple. And then you have now you can go into there's these brush mode here. I can say click on this, and now I'm in the inflate brush. Let's see. Now I can do this. I need to bring home my Wacom and see how this works, with that. Do I need to subdivide it more? There we go. There we go. So yeah, now I got that. So I can like inflate. I can flatten this bad boy out. I'm pretty sure if I right click. Yep. Shift flatten holds it down. Cool. Alt has the opposite effect. So I hold Alt. Yeah, cool. Nice. And then shift relaxes. Oh, nice. And can I do a pull? There it is. So that means I probably need to change. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, I always find these things, and I need to. And oh yeah, and then look like middle mouse button like changes the size of the mouse for this. So can I do a smooth on this? What's smooth? Oh, I'm not used to a program on the left side in the viewport having so many like contextual like it's telling me all the hotkeys. So if I'm holding down shift and like left click, you see it? You see that like
Yeah, which is cool as a beginner, but I feel like
can I
once
turn
you
that off?
going, you got to be able to turn that off because that's just going to be a
Yeah, like I'm already like, yo, it's a lot of stuff happening in the corner screen. I don't really want to see the mesh count and stuff. Only want to be able to like turn that off. Which I see there's like a hide here. Hold on. In front. You can put an image in the background on the viewport and then set it to be if it's in front or behind the model. Where is Oh, that's what I was gonna show you guys. On the site. On the little preschool sign up site. Where is it at? Did I close it? Oh no, right here. If you go to home and then you go to pricing, it's on sale, but that means it's free. So you got two versions. You got the basic version one and you got pro version one. For professional modelers, you can do the Rocket 3F full version, which is the same version you get now. Only difference seems to be that both of them have lifetime licenses, customize UI more, and then change hotkeys, and then you have customized tools. So I don't know what that means, the customized tools part. But it's about $80 because it's in euro. So I've already done the conversion. 79 euros, like 83 euros. It's like 80 euros or something like that. I'm like, ooh, dude. Okay. You gotta eat.
well.
Oh, I take it back. 89 euros. $89.76.
That's I mean, for a 3D program.
True. It's under $100. So Jack is right. You should get it. But really, if you don't care about the customization, and there seems like a lot of videos under his Rocket F like YouTube page.
Rocket 3F.
I can't get myself to say it every time I say it. If they would have just said Rocket 3D, it would have been fine. I don't know what the 3F is.
But why Rocket in the first place?
I don't know. Rocket. I don't know. So he has a lot of videos on here, like a lot. Oh, that's why he put it on there because he modeled the rocket. Like a lot.
Was that like the first thing he did?
Oh, there's a video. That's what the dude looks like. I didn't even see this. Hold on.
Is this the guy in his bedroom?
He's one of the developers. Oh, he's a concept artist
that really likes rockets.
I gotta Google his name. I gotta find his artwork. Oh, software's too complex, so he made his own.
Okay, that makes sense.
He didn't want to learn Maya, so he's like,
yep. There's. Oh, here he is. Here's his He's got a Behance.
Behance.
Oh, dude, you got one thing up.
And it's a rocket.
He said switching and opening him. I love this dude. Go ahead, dude. You made a modeling program. He's going for the concept like the Ashthorpes and the Maches and the Vitalis, you know, the Hollywood concept artists that are starting to use like Modo, not Modo, what's the program called? Moy and Fusion 360, you know, where you need to just make, you know, models for matte paintings or whatever. He said he wants to doing that. I like him. He's trying to be a disruptor. His phone was that bad. Hasn't crashed me or anything like that. You know? I'm like, okay. Yeah, it's interesting. It's got a lot of little features in here too. So I'm definitely looking at this more. Still haven't forgot about you, Silo, though. But this one came across this. I was like, what is Rocket? And you know what? I don't know if YouTube's doing this on purpose because there is no way for me to find this program, but it somehow showed up in my feed of YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I didn't watch any 3D programs like this.
It's listening.
It found like it knew I was messing with Silo, and it's like, you know what? You need something else here. Let me give you another option. You're all here about choices on the internet. We're all about choices. There's no other reason because there's no other like outside of me maybe talking about maybe Fusion 360. There's stuff on there about that, but there's stuff on there about Maya. So like I'm just the only thing I could think of is like the Silo stuff that's entered in the last couple weeks, you know, to be this specific of a modeler where all it does is model, you know. The plot thickens. Stop listening to my voice. Stop listening to me. It's like,
that's funny.
Then he'll review it on his show and it'll be great.
That's right.
So if I get another modeling program that's going to pop up my YouTube feed, you know, although there's one other one, that Daz Hexagon, you know, Daz was the
what?
You know, Daz 3D, you know, with the you know, the models where you can do the they look like Barbie models. What is it called? You know, it's kind of like Poser. You know what Poser is, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's like that, but like the upgraded version of that. There's been a like they have a program called Hexagon, which I don't know why their user base. Maybe they thought that their user base needed to start modeling for real instead of downloading these oh, sorry.
Shots fired.
Yo, my fault. Anyway, yeah, but yeah, that's what it is. And you know what? That is not totally bad. What am I talking about? I'm old school. That is bad. In a couple of the famous artists try to make it sound cool. This in concept, but I'm like, it's Daz. Most of their models are like sexually suggestive.
How much of whether or not a software makes it is that first preliminary push where 3D artists just want to be different. They want to be, you know, like so eccentric. So, I use this. Hexagon. I use this software.
I actually use Hexagon.
No one knows.
I don't use. Yeah, that's like buying clothes that no one has too, trying to be exclusive. Yeah, but this is a Hexagon. This is called Hexagon. So this is another modeling software offered by the guys who made Daz 3D, and it's just a regular modeling. You know what? I think my stupid ass probably has this program. Yeah, I do. Yeah, got such a problem.
Oh my god!
Here it is. I don't even remember when I downloaded this. June 13th, 2018. Okay, cool. I don't know what I was doing in June. This one's weird too because it does the whole like Moto thing where it has the.
Hi, my name is Charlie and I'm a 3D program user.
Where it has the wall. You know how Moto blew my mind. I don't know if you can model off this wall because that's what Moto does. Like it makes you do that like wall on the Y or whatever. another grid, so you can like extrude horizontally as well as vertically. But I haven't even looked at this one. Yeah, it does do that. So this is how Moto is, where it's using that grid as like a modeling tool. So you just throw stuff like. So I always thought like, why are you making me model in a corner? Why I gotta look at that? Like, put my
Nobody
nose
puts Moto in a corner.
and model this box because I've been a bad boy. Like I don't understand. I thought it was cool, but sorry, bad people. You're not gonna make me feel like Moto's cool because you can model off, a floating grid. Then they start moving the grid. Then you can move the grid wherever you want. Why would I want to do that? I guess it could be cool. Then I have people tell me literally in like Hangouts, you just got to try it and to understand it. I'm like, oh, okay. That sounds like. And then I stop talking, so I don't make it. Like, okay, dude. I just don't know. I'm like, it's like having like too much information in the corner of a viewport on Rocket. Like, see, I don't even know how to call it. Can I just call it? I guess I'm going to just call it Rocket. I can't say the full.
Just call it Rocket. This is your world.
You
can come over here and tell us what the hell to call your goofy ass 4D, whatever the hell it was.
Yo, so for sure, I haven't flinched. Carlos is wavering. He is still a Silo hardcore through and through.
Hardcore.
Because he's not having the same response for these two programs as the other ones. Although I'm not liking, I'm gonna be honest though, because look, this is what they do wrong. All right, all middle mouse button should pan in a 3D program. If it's not doing that, you shouldn't lock me to like one.
Who said?
Huh?
Who says?
I feel like that should be default
in
a 3D.
That makes sense to you, but not everybody.
Well, everybody needs.
It's just because everybody else is doing that doesn't mean it's the best way, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
What do you like, Zach?
I mean, I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm sure.
Don't make this about me. I'm just saying.
Don't put your panning issues on me.
That's too funny.
I don't know. I don't know what it's do. Oh, it's a sweep surface. Oh, that's kind of cool. But if I could pan out like normal people, look at this. Look at it. It's like temperamental. Oh, too much. Okay, I'm controlling the model and my at the same time. Just
maybe. Okay.
There we go. Okay, cool. So if I do this, does it yeah, it does. So I can okay. Oh, how do I turn it off? Well, it tapers at the end. Why would it taper like that? Now I got geometry inside of each other. How do you stop it though? Okay.
Escape.
Enter stops it. Look at it. It's like
Control open Apple reset.
It's kind of like phallic. It's weird. Okay, cool.
That's some Dr. Seuss modeling right there.
It's not modeling at all. I don't know. Everything in this modeler, and this is what makes like Silo and Rocket kind of nice, because they clearly put some money into this. I don't know what Daz was thinking, but they really wasn't going to get money out of it. What's the thinking of? It has to be able. I don't know what they're thinking, because Daz itself is a company that prides itself on making models like this as add-ons to your free software that you can use in other things, right? So it's literally like Barbie doll dress up at the end of the day. Like I can point it because, and this is the messed up part about it, and Dad doesn't talk about this. I'd be here. Is this wrong? I wonder if I should say this.
Probably.
Because I would equate working, if I had to work at Daz, and I know that some people, you can use some of these for professionally wise and stuff like that, because the models aren't bad. They've come a long way, right? But I don't know if it's the way they pose them. I don't know if the arts. It's always a little slutty, like a little suggestive, you know. Like look at this image on their site, right? Zoomed in on the belly button.
To talk about incredible detail, yeah.
Out of all the things, it's a little like
it's got nipples.
Right. It's a little frat boy. It's like it's run by some frat boy that like got it passed down to him from his father. And he's like look at the facial. Look what he used for the facial like expression. It's some like weird model like biting their lip and tongue like all.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what the intent of this software really started as. Like,
it literally was
like
Poser the same way was like. I feel like it was like adolescent boys are downloading, making their own models and making big-breasted women in like weird, scanty clad clothes, and the guys and all the guys like they stepped right out of a Fabio commercial or something, or like daytime television, you know, like because you could download that for free. These are their new Genesis models, and then what happens is how they get people is. Not how they get people, but how they make money is they're modeling packs. So if you want a certain girl or certain outfits or certain body types, alien body type, whatever, you download the pack and then be able to interchange clothing on them, and then you could export those out to different software. There's a couple other like animation softwares you can use, like iClone is another one that takes these models and you can bring them up and do
no software quality has I at the beginning of it. At this point, come on.
You know, you can and then like these some of these guys come with like blend shapes and all these other things, but you can always like tell it's a Daz model. Like it's always I don't know.
I mean, if you're in for like product dev or conceptualizing or something, I could see it being helpful.
And that's what people have been trying to use it for now. You know, like the professional guys, like there's been guys like Ash Thorpe and a couple and Mache and a couple other guys have been talking about how they use this, which I could see them using it even if you go to their sites. Like I could see them using it in their work. You know, they'll just use like the gray model version of them.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell like, or they'll cut off and just use a hand. You know, like I think if I remember correctly. Where is it at? Like this, I believe, is a Daz model. Or what he did was, I think, he takes it into ZBrush or whatever. I believe it's one of these ones was, and I don't quote me, but like I think the other one was like I remember from one of his podcasts. So I think like. Yeah, I think these heads was a Daz one at one point, but then he takes them in a ZBrush and obviously cuts them out and messes them up and really makes them for what he was trying to do. Like these guys, like this guy, like this stuff goes to the shell. Some of the early like concept stuff, not the stuff that was in the movie, obviously, but the concept when they're spitting out concepts and they need a human form, you know. Trying to figure out where was that. Yeah, Ash really cut down his site. Doesn't have as much stuff. Where is that? Oh, I don't know if I like his site now. This is one of those scrolling sites where like you're at you go to scroll up, but you don't need to anymore because you end up being at the top again. It's like messing with me. Anyway, I'm confused. This site looks like I don't know if I like his site now. Interesting. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So I don't know the pool to have that whole hexagon modeler on top of it, you know. But It's interesting.
Interesting.
So yeah, so try it. Try that out. I mean, there's really no excuse. It's just not really giving you a good excuse for why you can't model something anymore.
Right.
Maybe not use hexagon because I'm going to tell that one to no. It's not even worth me being in it anymore. I'm closing it. I probably should uninstall that. I will actually uninstall that tonight. But the Rocket one and the Silo one are good. It's because the line tools are, what you expect. Edge loop, edge cut. You can quick subdivide and then look like it exports. And the export feature, which is probably the biggest thing because it does no good if you can't get it out of this program. You can export as all the pretty straightforward. I don't know what a VWS file is, but you can do OBJ, .dae, FPX, and DXF. So you can get into any regular program like Blender, Max, Maya, ZBrush. Check it out.
Boom. Speaking of checking it out,
Mhm.
let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy up because we've been talking for 2 hours now. So let's start with you, Charlie. If people are looking to check you out online, where can they go for that?
Go to my site, cargocollector.com/Charlie B. Williams. I'm doing a new site finally. So be on the lookout for that. But the site as you see it right now is different. So go check it out. There's new stuff up there. Doing a lot of extracurricular things lately. It's caused me
scared of you.
So I'm trying to get it up and I'm trying to Squarespace. Pause. I can't really Squarespace. I have to find a template that I like on Squarespace, which I didn't think it'd be as hard as I want it is right now. I don't know. So if anybody has any ideas about that, I'm trying to find a good way to lay things out that I've seen. And I haven't seen a template that I like. But once I see the template, pull the trigger, buy it, do all that stuff. Also head over to Pinterest.com. That's CharlieBW3. Instagram is CharlieBW3. Twitter CBW3. Check it out. Get in your life.
Cool. Thank you, sir. How about you, Jack?
You can find me at sketchbookjack.com and on Instagram, sketchbookjack is the other hot place.
What are you working on? Is that your Spider-Man?
It's a fat mobster. No, I'm
he went back to the roots.
I'm doing some commission work for a company.
Oh, nice.
Oh, is this what you told us about before?
Yeah, this is just I'm doing about 6 characters for them, so this is one of them.
Is that ongoing or is that on and off? Like you're off for a couple months and they
It's on and off. They basically write a new, for lack of a better word, campaign or theme story. Then they usually ask for like 5-6 characters, and then they write that and they print out all the materials, and then it's one of the things they offer at their tour company is this new storyline with the new characters. So
that's cool.
And then they launch another one after either they feel people have heard this. It's kind of like what are those escape rooms? It's like an escape room but with food. So
do you eat the food?
It's got like a theme. Yeah, it's a tour. It's like food tour, but it's like an escape room type of thing where you got to solve the mystery. And if you can connect all the dots with the characters and the food locations, you can, that type of thing. So
that sounds good because I like
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems like a fun concept.
Obviously
they've offered me a free tour, but I have yet to get out to New York.
Oh, it's in New York, yeah. Cool. So are you going to redraw this a couple of times or?
No, that's kind of the cool thing about this gig is they're giving me carte blanche. I just do whatever, and they're like, "Oh, okay, cool, thanks." And then they write the story around it. I've only gotten like notes about twice. I have notes on a different one. I did like a Chinese restaurant owners, and they were like, "Oh, we were envisioning them older, like 60 or 70. So can you make them old?" I was like, oh, "Okay, cool." But
both of you guys, this is the best relationship to be in. Both of you guys like, all right, cool.
Yeah, it's just like I do something cool and I get paid for it, and they do something cool and they get cool stuff, and it's fun.
So are you gonna have like one of these crazy like posters after a while where like you have like 100?
Yeah, right.
Really think
I
about it.
mean, I already got that from all the mobsters I've been drawing over the years, but yeah, potentially.
They let you do a book out of this. Do you have control to do that?
Yeah, I still own rights to this. They have lifetime exclusive usage, but I still own the rights.
You can still use it for your own ideas.
Boss.
I can still use it. Well, I can't repurpose it for clients or anything like that, but
Sure. But like
because I own the
Charlie
rights,
said, if you wanted to make a book.
yeah, yeah, I could profit off it as long as it makes it's. I can't profit off it by selling it, licensing it, or selling it to another client. But I
or
could
like if you started your own food tour, you can't use it that way. Yeah,
exactly. But I could
sell it back to them so they can sell it on their tour.
But I could make, the art of Sketchbook Jack or, whatever, and have books, sell it in books or on t-shirts or whatever. But
yeah,
nice.
That's cool.
Carlos.
Cool. Thank you, sir. And welcome back. And we'll get to his worldly adventures one of these days.
Oh yeah, let's chat about the animation studios of the world.
I want to talk about the Indian military too. India's military.
Until then, you can find me at coconutjustice.com, Coconut Justice everywhere else. And if you want to see some art-related travel podcast, or not podcast, but show, go to Artist Al Fresco. Good night, Landon. Thank you for checking in.
See you, Landon.
Yeah. So, so if you go to youtube.com/coconut justice, you'll see everything that I'm up to. And feel free to
where do you see Artist Al Fresco?
Subscribe over there. Yeah, Artist Al Fresco is there too.
Cool.
Artistalfresco.com will drop you off at a certain playlist. But yeah, that stuff is there. Oh yeah, speaking of which, next week chances are we won't have a show because I will be traveling for said Artist Al Fresco. And I don't want to plan on trying to make a show if I'm not going to have internet. So
yeah.
So that's that. So
I'll be out of town, so I can't do it either. So we'll have to.
Yeah. So let's see. And it sucks because we're finally back and we're taking another week off. But I'm sorry. If you want to have videos keep you company, we have 172 total. So that'll keep you tied over. Is that?
That'll keep you tight.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah. So go ahead and check those out. If you go to sketch.zone, what's going to happen is you're going to see that it's an error. So I'm going to try to fix that. I'm going to try to fix that. But yeah, what is it? youtube.com/sketchzone or sketchzone podcast, I believe. And subscribe there too. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed yet, please do that. And if you are on Instagram, let's go ahead and get this bad boy done. If you're on Instagram, this week's fun prompt is your universe's Spider-Man. So yeah, draw, model, whatever you want to do, paint. And then when you post it on Instagram, go ahead and go through the process of actually tagging us. And then we will share that and show it at the beginning of the show. That again is your universe's Spider-Man. And again, I thought I was going to try to have a short URL for the Discord. We are on Discord, you guys, so find us because we have a nice little active community there. We're doing all kinds of stuff like dropping art links, video links. We're asking each other for feedback too, art feedback and design feedback and stuff like that. So you should check that out too. Something tells me it's discord.com/sketchzone or something like that. Right now I'm typing that in and I probably shouldn't be. No, error 404. Okay, so we'll figure that out. What else do we have? We have Discord. We have, we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on all that stuff. YouTube.com/SketchZone podcast. We try to be here every week. Every once in a while, it just doesn't work out. The three of us get super busy doing art related stuff. So if we're not here and you miss us, go ahead and check us out on Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, and of course, iTunes. I believe that's it. So with that, y'all, have a good week.
See you guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.